Hello, my name is Isabelle Moulin. I am the artistic director of Silk Me Back, and I am very happy to present you today this exhibition, Un monde en soi, a world of silk. It's present, in fact, the 8 countries of the network Silk City. It offers some keys to better understand the special links between these 8 countries. All it starts in China with the legend of a princess who would have dropped a cocoon in the cup of tea. Hangzhou was the first city to be invited in Silky City Forum. More than a weapon of mass seduction, the tipao has been able to integrate a cut and a volume that are foreign to it, become the very icon of the Chinese silhouette in our Western imagination. By assimilating the Western forms, the kipao is, as a second skin, follows more and more closely the body of which it reveals the curves, until then hidden by the Chinese flat cut. A play of inverted mirrors of meaning, colors, patterns, and shape between China and the West. Japan is represented in our network by Kyoto and Yokohama. This kimono was created for the installation, was proposed at the Musée des Tissus for this occasion. It pays tribute to the famous scrolls of the Grand Master Yamaguchi of Weaver of Kyoto. The realization of this masterpiece combines traditional arts and techniques and also hybridization with a high Western technicality, jacquard mécanique. The realization of these 4 rollers could not have taken place without the precious recourse to the new technology which, from the creation of the Second World, was requested. These complex computer systems, distant descendant of the perforated cords of the jacquard loom. This true treasure was offered to the National Museum of Asian Art by the Grand Master Yamaguchi to thank France for introducing the jacquard craft in Kyoto, thus offering the city a true revival of the textile industry. To reach the West, Silk initiated what has become the model of our current globalization, the Silk Road, crossing the Eurasian continental bloc. These steps, with mythical names, have rocked our imagination, such as Tbilisi in Georgia. Between Caucasus and Black Sea, it is said that it's here in Colchis that Jason would have come to fetch the golden fleece. Cited by Marco Polo, Tbilisi then became an essential stage of the Silk Road, with this effervescent and cosmopolitan caravanserai crossroad between East and West. For us, Georgia is the sleek silhouette of chokha coats become uniforms that we could imagine that the bandolier would contain not gunpowder but gold powder. Another stop of the Silk Road is the Uzbekistan with Bukhara and Samarkand. Samarkand, of course, it's the blue color, the color of these copperas, this mythical blue that could no longer be reproduced, a subtle alchemy of copper oxide. A subtle culture that will have initiated the development of this method of weaving so sophisticated, the ikat, that perhaps inspired the famous chine à la branche from Lyon at the 18th century. A delicate culture, it is said that the elegant Uzbek choose the taffeta of their kaftan according to the noise it produced when it was wrinkled. The first European gate of the Silk Road was Italy, and more particularly Venice and Venetia, the first time with Marco Polo. With the flamboyance of the Renaissance, it is the pinnacle of this Italian golden age. All the European courts are bleeding to death in order to be able to adorn themselves with this silk of which they love and of which Italy ranks preciously the monopoly. Francis I will even think of making Lyon his capital to get closer to Italy. From Veneto to Lombardy, the silky Italian territory grew and Como became its capital in the 19th century. This is where the encyclopedic and prestigious Reti Foundation is located, whose textile collections are an inexhaustible source of inspiration for today, for creators of today. France will gradually become autonomous for the production of its own silk. François Ier offers to Lyon the privilege necessary for the city to become the western terminus of the Silk Road. Henri IV ordered Olivier de Serres to plant thousands of mulberry trees whose leaves were the only food for the silkworms throughout the region around. Colbert installed the Grande Fabrique there to provide the city with an economic structure strong enough to become for centuries the silk French capital. In city where we think with our hands, research and development constantly reinterpret know-how and processes, and in the 19th century, at the beginning of the Industrial Revolution, it was here that the founding instrument of this revolution was developed, the jacquard craft. These subtle mechanics will be a worldwide success and will be exported to the four corners of the world. These perforated cards are simply the ancestors of the 1.0 of computers, and this is no coincidence that one of the digital giants in Silicon Valley, Google, named his research program on connected textile jacquard, simply. But the Silk Road doesn't stop in Lyon and is spreading more and more westward. Intermediate stopover of this deployment is Spain and Valencia, which represent in our network. Valencia and its Silk Lodge is the epicenter of Spanish silk, arrived so far initially thanks to Muslim. Valencia is still the well-known moire developed by Joaquim Manuel Fos, a silky scholar who introduced this process in Valencia in the 19th century after studying the secrets of silk making and refinement of moire in Lyon. Spain is this sumptuous and deep black of portrait of Velázquez. This black so difficult to obtain in dyeing and by process so expensive that this is considered the absolute luxury. This is the black work of Balonchaga, the king, according to his peers. The greatest designer will be Spanish. The silhouette pay tributes to him. Today, the Silk Road extends to Brazil, and Bastos is the representative in our network. The introduction of silk in Brazil is almost legendary, a bit secret. perhaps it originated from the massive arrival of an Italian community around 1817, combined with the installation from 1910 of a Japanese diaspora. These eclectic contributions have contributed to the development of a production of excellence able to meet the very high level of requirement of the major luxury brands of today and allow the Silk Road to travel to Brazil, green and red. The colors of Brazil will therefore be those of the closing of this virtual exhibition, still stationary and so inspiring travel. Silk, once again, in these confined times, shows that what extent it knows how to remain the most on transport, the most on vector of our imagination and our creation, but also a strong link that unites us through time and borders. Silke, yours.